And with that said, let's talk about COD. Chains of Domination.
I genuinely, that didn't go in my head. I was like, what? Oh, like, how have you turned PTR into COD? It's like, all right, okay.
Yeah. You know, it's time for a cheeky bit of domination on a Friday evening.
Yep, it is. The World of Warcraft developers are surprisingly horny at all times.
Yeah. So we've got, oops, they did it again. And you know, when THD from Limit is involved, you almost certainly know it's going to be a spicy topic of discussion.
Yep. So, you want to lead ahead there while I put my Red Bull away?
Aye, Grant. So
We're really on you good.
Oh, was I?
Yep.
I was going to put it to the...
Oh, okay, fair. Go for it.
Aye. So, right. Number one. Do not read into this too much right now. Not too much, because there is a chance this could be changed on the PTR. Now, that said... that said, it seems rather annoying, so let's take a look at this system.
Yes.
This comes via THD, who is a warlock for the world first winners, I think, reigning champions, Limit.
Complexity Limit, yes.
Yes.
He's also an absolute... Okay, I don't mean this in a bad way. The word kind of negative connotations, I would say goon, because just one of those kind of class clown personalities in a way. I think he's hilarious, and I think he's really on point a lot of the time, but I just laugh when I see his name these days. Like,
yeah, and you know, when you just know THD, he loves the decisions of the WoW team. Because, of course, you know, these are all decisions that impact Mythic Raiders that, of course, Mythic Raiders universally love.
Yep.
So, we're going to get Domination gear in this new patch.
Yep.
The Domination gear will have Domination sockets. And into those sockets, you put shards.
Yep.
So, the idea, and those shards can be upgraded. Oh, I've got the hiccups. Those shards can be upgraded over time. So the idea is you go into the raid, you pick up shards from bosses. You can level up those shards, rank them up using a currency that I believe drops from bosses as well.
Yes, it's drops from them.
And that's that. So how could it go wrong? What is what THD is talking about?
So remember the consumable conduits, and everyone went, please, you can't be serious. You can't make these consumable. We spend so much time. There's limited loot. Please don't make them consumable. We like to swap things. Remember that?
So, Matt,
well,
are you insinuating, are you implying that you're about to say that Blizzard did not learn a principle?
So, as we've said, take this with a degree of salt because it's a PTR update and it's using an existing system that has destruction baked in. But Shards of Domination, you can't just swap them in and out of sockets as you upgrade them. If you want to put something in you destroy the old one. Much like a gem, of course. So you want to go in, you want to upgrade your little shard. You're like, okay, this is really, really good. Put this in this bit of gear. It's rank 4. Okay, grand. Don't have enough to get to rank 5, but I need another bit of another thing in my game or my gear. Gear. I need another one. So I'll throw something in for the time being because I'm doing a different role, say.
Of course, yeah.
I'm playing a different spec. Something like that. You know, the way you might want to heal in PvP but DPS in raid. Something like that. Yeah. But the same gear because, well, whatever. Yeah. How's that in your salad, like?
So are you telling me that they've actually combined not learning their lesson from the from the destructible consumable conduits, and they've also not learned their lesson from Azerite gear? Because I'm not saying this is an Azerite gear-like thing where, you know, this is literally Azerite gear, but the point of your gear is good for one spec and fucky in another spec, and making that gear work for both specs is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Whereas for Azerite, it was reforging. For this, it is that destruction upon putting a new gem in a socket.
Yep. Gem to be destroyed.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can upgrade... Can you upgrade a gem while it is socketed in your gear?
That's what I'm not sure of. I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. Oh, hang on, no. So, what THC says is, applying a Shard of Domination destroys your prior, and if you socket a rank 3 shard, it currently cannot be upgraded, and you would need a new rank 1 shard to go to 5, and then replace your R3.
Okay, so if the game ships like that, then this is stupid, and the people who have made it so should no longer be working on similar systems.
Absolutely.
I know that is a big statement to make, but if they are... I mean, look, if you get somebody and they do the initial consumable conduits, the whole community says no, and then that same mistake is made again, that is obviously bad.
Yeah.
That is obviously, I think, some people or group of people or the collective decision-making apparatus of a team not being fit for purpose.
Certainly.
Yeah, like, as the way that this should work in my head is just you have your thing, you upgrade your gems, you mix and match them as you please.
Yeah.
Because, maybe then I want to move to a different spec to do a different type of content, then I can regem my gear in something new for that bit of content. And you could say it would suck to have to regem your gear and do all of that stuff all the time. Yeah. To which I'd say, well, Blizzard have designed it so that you'd want to, and then made it so that you can't.
Yeah.
So that obviously feels bad. If we didn't want to have that problem, we would do things like this via a different system that would not have those downsides.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's two things to point out. As someone pointed out in chat, it's like they solved this in a way with essences, where it was just you pick your essence and it's on your gear sorted. I imagine it wasn't literally on your gear because Heart of Azeroth was really weird, technically speaking. But they solved that problem.
Hey Matt,
yep.
They solved it with fucking glyphs.
So they did.
Years ago.
So they did. So like they are gems. So obviously, every quibble with the gem system is going to exist here, unless they have something they haven't sorted us yet. But
time to roll out this is one of my arguments that I enjoy quite a bit.
Okay.
So why do you create scarcity in the supply in the supply and demand of these items? So there is scarcity with gems, right? There has to be some scarcity so that those gems are actually worth money, so that it supports the economy. So if you have a situation where, your gems are always mix and match in your gear, you buy one set of gems, that's you done for the whole expansion. Now there's no gem market, so prospecting and all of that stuff doesn't really work. Now with glyphs, remember when they made it with glyphs, they used to be consumable, then they made it so you click in the glyph, you learn it, that's that.
Library system.
But then they realized, oh shit, what are our scribes going to do? So then the scribes would have to make a re-glyphing, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
So the thing here is, my point is, you do that for an economy to make sense. Now in this case, it's the in-game economy. With this, what is it? It's this loot economy. So why are we creating that sort of scarcity? If our number one goal was to create a progression system where a player could earn some new things, mix and match them on their character as they see fit, these would not be consumable.
Yep.
Because they're being consumable. So okay, we're not managing the actual in-game economy or supply and demand. Okay, so we're obviously doing it to manage people's time. So we're obviously doing it to extend the amount of time somebody's playing the game. Yep. That's how this obviously feels. Why not make it? Why not make it a library system? If it was a library system, I would feel not even just a library system. If they were just literal gems that went in your bag, you upgrade the gem, but they don't get destroyed upon resocketing, then I would earn my gems. I would be happy to have my gems. I would like to upgrade my gems, and I'd be happy. But now it's like, just think about the amount of player friction that exists in something like this. It's like, you're sitting there and like, well, what gem do I upgrade? Okay, well now because you would know that these gems are destroyed whenever they're put, whenever a new gem is put into the gear, that completely changes how you interact with this system.
Yeah.
It makes it far more degenerate. Yeah. When I saw this tweet from THD earlier, I was honestly completely baffled.
Yeah. So I have one sort of thing to say about this, and it is kind of more in this is the PTR angle, which is, actually no, one other thing that I just remembered. There actually is a way to remove gems from gear. I think it was the legendary jewel crafting item from BFA.
Oh yeah.
Let you pluck gems out of gear, so it's actually possible. But
tech-wise, you mean?
Yeah,
Blizzard have already got the thing working.
Yeah, tech-wise it's possible. But the other thing is about this just being PTR. And we said before, take a grain of salt, PTR isn't final. And that's okay, that's perfectly fine. They could have this fixed in the next PTR update, and we're like, okay, sweet. But here's the thing. We're going to see this. Like, people who deliver news, Wohead are going to make an article about this. You know this when you push the build live. You know this is going to be the case. Where's our blue posts? Where is the rundown of how this is going to work?
Yeah.
From A to Z? because if you want us to actually give feedback on how things work, they need to be as close to final as possible.
Or if they're not final, tell us.
Yeah, and then we can fight back, or not fight back. We can give feedback. Sorry.
Well, with some of the systems that they seem to think is a good idea, fight back might actually be the.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally, hey Blizzard, do you want to avoid landmines for free?
Yeah.
Well, with this one crazy technique, you can.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like either do the PTR right or don't do it. I think it's the kind of thing where you're wasting player time and your own time by doing these if you aren't going to give us like actual like reasons for why things are the way they are and a solution to it.
That's the thing. It's like I keep on, I just wish I could say, hey Ian, why are conduit upgrades random? Please explain to me fully why.
Yeah.
And, to which was he going to say, like, oh, having your Stygia go into a random conduit from, for a spec that you don't even play, that is just a trough in your experience that exists to make the incredible joy and elation of the conduit that you actually want to use being upgraded really feel like joy and elation because it could have went bad. Is that what is... Or is he just going to be like, oh yeah, well, we want you to upgrade the entire system at once, or, sort of slowly, almost like one of those, it almost reminds me of sorting algorithms for some reason. Anyway, it's a bit irrelevant.
Yeah, fair.
When it's like, I would genuinely want to know why they think it is a good idea to make it random. So here it's like, in the same way that people are like, hey Ian, why, I say Ian because of the interviews that happened, because this is what I said in my last interview with Ian. I literally was like, so, consumable conduits then? Why?
Yeah,
and I just have to do the same thing again. Even though, like, he told me, whatever the reasons were, and that they think it's all grand or whatever, and then a week later they 180'd. But it's like, what are they? I don't know. It's weird. It's like, if this was maybe another game or another developer, maybe I would give them the benefit of the doubt on this. But they have consistently, I guess, burned us on this stuff so much. And they have continually, at least with the conduits, wanted to do something like this. Yeah. That's like, I can't trust that this is not intended. And certainly, this does begin to piss me off, because if they do it, as THD is saying here, it is going to make my Sanctum of Domination raiding experience worse. Yeah. That's not what that I shouldn't be thinking that about the new thing you've done for me and the type of content I'm going to do.
Yep.
But that's unfortunately what I am forced to think. Because of this.
Yeah, it's grim, but it's like, even if it's not intended, just tell us. But it's the fact that we're not going, this is obviously placeholder, don't think about it. Like,
it's like sometimes they just drop that in an interview and you're like, well, why'd you put it in the PTR then? Why do you invite people to a PTR full of content that is basically irrelevant, and then don't tell them that it's irrelevant? Explain, please.
That's exactly that's the kind of point that I'm making an upcoming issue video soon, maybe. But it's just the idea of like, please reevaluate everything you're doing. I don't mean like everything like from the ground up, but I mean actually sit down and go, why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing a PTR if we aren't doing it correctly? Yeah. Reallocate those resources, because all you're doing is making us preemptively hate your game by showing us an awful version of it.
Yeah. And then it's the thing where, like, unfortunately so many of the bad ideas they show in PTR, like initial corruption gearing, do just make it in. And it's that thing which we will probably cover, but it's like, the way that they only made it so that you can do realistic class testing in PTR, even when it's like, this is almost certainly the last, like, the last month of actual changes being possible in PTR, because if we don't have a release candidate by early July, we're in a big issue.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like,
brutal.
Yeah, it's like even all that time, whenever Mike was doing some of that Korthia gameplay at the start, he was doing every single day. I was just thinking, like, God bless.
What a trooper.
What a trooper. He actually thinks that it could be worth doing this. Okay, fair enough. He's a gameplay streamer more than we are, so it's something to do on stream. But it was just that thing of it being like, it's PTR. What does it matter? What does it mean? It means less and less seemingly these days. Just kind of sad.